friends, Kim Skinner here with Kat Scrappiness, and I have 4 new stencils to share with you today. And these are 6x6 stencils. They're on nice heavy stencil material. And the first one is the falling stars, and you can see the stars there. This is the falling starlight. Then we have floating dots, and we have falling hearts, and all of them can be flipped over if you want to flip them over, with the exception of the hearts. The hearts are definitely directional, so you can use those either way, and they're pretty fun because you can use just parts of the stencil or you can use the whole stencil. I love stencils. I think they're the most cost-effective crafting tool you can purchase because there are so many stencil techniques that you can do. And they are relatively inexpensive compared to a lot of other things. So I like to, when I'm just ink blending through my stencil, I like to use some tape. This is the Spellbinder's Best Ever Craft tape. I like to make it a little hinge so I can flip my stencil up and check out the project and then flip it back down. You can put temporary adhesive under your cardstock to hold it in place if you want to, or if you're using a magnetic mat, you can actually hold it all down with a magnet. So I'm starting here with some Distress Oxide. I've got a blender brush, and I'm going to go ahead and really ink this up and add it over my stencil. And you can see I'm going clockwise. That's automatically how I stencil, in a clockwise direction. And I then try to go counterclockwise so I can get any spaces that were missed going in the clockwise direction first. So it's good to actually try to go in the opposite direction for a few passes around your stencil. I've got a nice even blend there, and I really like that way, the way that looks. Now, if you want a little more dimension, throw your stencil back in there and add another layer just to one side of the dots, and you'll get a nice bit of dimension. Or take a darker color. This is peacock feathers. You could take something a little darker than that and do the same thing just to add some dimension and texture. So here is the floating dots stencil all colored in. Isn't that pretty? Here is the hearts. I think this one's my favorite. They're kind of a whimsical shape for the hearts. Here are the falling stars and the falling star light. I love that. Imagine a nighttime sky card with those on it. Now, one really great technique is using special glazes and pastes and things like this. This is the picket fence paste that you will find in the Kat Scrappiness shop. You just need a palette knife, or a plastic knife works great, and you just want to put a thin coat. Now, when I get this all done, I'm going to take it immediately and I'm going to clean up my stencil, and I just run it under water in my utility sink, and I'll clean off my palette knife and my mat. You want to do that right away. Do not let that sit. You'll need to let your project sit for about an hour and allow it to dry. And you can do all kinds of things. I will show you my project at the end that I created with this. I always make sure I wipe the edge of my glaze or paste or whatever it is I'm using over my stencil, and make sure I clean off that rim. Otherwise, it will act like glue when you go to use your paste again. So isn't it pretty? It's very iridescent. It's beautiful. Here's the project I made with it. I actually ink blended right over that dried paste, and then I buffed it off, and look how pretty that looks. So I just simply added a few sequins and a word die to complete it. This one I also added a word die and a little vase from Happy Fall Y'all. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't look at all like a fall stamp set either, does it? So there's some ideas. Thanks for watching, friends.